Oh, beloved, I must ask you this question before another moment slips into eternity. What if the very thing you've been rebuking, resisting, and rejecting is the hand of God trying to grow you? What if your tears are watering your own destiny? You've prayed for growth, you've begged for purpose, but when God sent the answer, you didn't recognize it because it wore the robe of discomfort. This message is not a suggestion. It's a divine intervention. And if you'll stay with me, your eyes will open to see what heaven has been doing behind your pain. You must not stop here. This may be the very moment your entire life turns. There is a mystery in the way God moves. He doesn't always come in the fire. He doesn't always ride in on the wind. Sometimes he comes in the form of a thorn. And yet, instead of yielding, instead of bowing, we fight, we push, we scream, we blame the devil. We cancel people, and all the while heaven watches, waiting for us to recognize we are fighting what God sent to grow us. There are 5 signs, 5 warnings that your soul is wrestling with the very hands that are trying to shape it. Listen closely now. Warning sign number 1. Your prayer life is frustrated, not fruitful. You cry out, but nothing changes. You pray harder, but peace escapes you. That's not punishment. It's pruning. The silence of God is not his absence. It is his operation room. He is cutting away everything that cannot go into the next season of your calling. Don't resist the silence. Rest in it. Warning sign number 2. You're surrounded by offense. Suddenly, you feel attacked, misunderstood, isolated. But what if the offense is not a sign you're under attack, but under construction? He is removing the props, the applause, the crutches, so that you'll know him as the only source. Oh, you've depended on man too long. He's pulling you into divine dependence. Warning sign number 3. You keep trying to rebuild what God already tore down. My, how we love to resurrect what God has buried. That relationship, that title, that season, it served its purpose. But it's over. And every time you try to go back, you grieve the Holy Spirit's progress in your life. If God breaks it, don't tape it back together. Let him rebuild you from the ground up. Warning sign number 4. You have no peace even when things look perfect. From the outside, it seems like things should be right, but your spirit is restless. That's not confusion. That's conviction. God will disturb false peace to direct you into true purpose. You're not called to be comfortable. You're called to be holy. His peace isn't tied to your circumstances. It's tied to your surrender. Warning sign number 5. You keep repeating the same wilderness. You've been here before. Same tears, same triggers, same test. And you wonder why. It's because you never learned the lesson the first time. God doesn't fail you. He reteaches you. He will keep you in the wilderness until Egypt is out of your heart. Don't fight it. Graduate from it. I feel the presence of the Lord even now. There's someone watching. Your heart is broken not because the devil won, but because God loved you enough to break your plans before they broke you. That pain is not your punishment. It's your preparation. Yield to the process. Lay down your sword. What you're fighting isn't demonic, it's divine. Let him finish what he started, for in the fire you shall be refined. And when it's over, you'll look nothing like what tried to destroy you. You'll look like him. Pain isn't always the enemy. Sometimes it's the whisper of the potter molding you in the dark. Sometimes the very thing you're asking God to remove is the thing he's using to prepare you for what you asked him to become. Oh, child of God, do not be so quick to escape what heaven has allowed. When the soul is in anguish and the heart feels crushed under the weight of affliction, that is often the place where the deepest work of God begins. There is something sacred in suffering, not because pain is beautiful, but because what it produces in the hands of a holy God cannot be manufactured in comfort. We cry out for power, for purpose, for elevation, and God says, then let me break you. We want resurrection, but we resist crucifixion. We want anointing, but despise the crushing. But oil does not flow from an olive unless it is pressed. And so it is with us. Heaven often answers our prayers with pain, not to harm us, but to hollow us, so that what comes out of us in the end is not ambition, not pride, not performance, but pure surrender. It is in the furnace of pain that motives are purified. It is when we have no strength left that we learn to lean. And it is when our tears have soaked the floor that we find out God still sits on the throne and has never left our side. There are things you'll never know about God unless you hurt. There are levels of his glory that will not be revealed to the casual seeker. And so he allows seasons where everything is stripped, where all that is false is shaken, where even your prayers seem to fall silent in the dark, not because he doesn't hear, but because he wants you to hear him. Not in the noise, not in the crowd, not in the blessing, but in the stillness of surrender. The potter does his best work when the clay stops resisting. And I feel such a deep sense that someone watching has been fighting the very season that was sent to prepare them. You've been calling it an attack. You've been rebuking it. You've been trying to fast your way out of it. But what if I told you that this is not a punishment? This is a calling. This is a making. This is the invisible hand of God forming something eternal inside of you that will echo long after the pain is gone. Do you not know that every vessel used by God has passed through the fire? Every voice that shook the earth first sat alone in the wilderness. There is no shortcut to glory. There is no bypass around the breaking. We are not promoted by platforms, but by pain that has been surrendered to God. You are not being buried. You are being planted. And when the roots are deep, there's no need to fear the wind. But deep roots don't grow in shallow seasons. They grow in dark places, in long nights, in quiet tears. This is where the potter is closest. His hands shaping you when no one sees, molding your heart in the silence. And when you want to run, he says, stay. When you want to shout, he says, listen. Because what he is forming in you is not a temporary fix, but a holy foundation. And when he is finished, you will thank him for every delay, for every unanswered prayer, for every door that did not open, for the people who left, for the dreams that died. Because all of it was the potter's hand stripping away what could not last, so that what remains would be unshakable. So do not call the process evil if you have not seen the end. Do not judge the potter while you're still spinning on the wheel. The cracks in your soul are not signs of failure. They are proof that God is touching your life in ways no one else can. Yield to it. Embrace it. Trust him in the fire, because what pain breaks, God rebuilds better. And the next time you feel like it's over, remember, sometimes pain isn't the enemy. Sometimes it's the potter. Delay is not denial. I must say it again for the one who's been waiting so long. They've started to believe God has forgotten their name. Delay is not denial. It is divine construction. You think God is stalling. You think your prayers have been put on pause. But what you don't see is that while you're waiting, God is building. While you feel stuck, heaven is in motion. The kingdom never wastes a second. When God delays, He's not punishing you. He's preparing something far greater than you imagined. But it's so easy, isn't it, to mistake silence for absence, to mistake preparation for rejection, to see everyone else being blessed, everyone else moving forward, and wonder, why not me, Lord? But can I tell you something that will change how you see your season? God is never late. He is never slow. He is never unsure. He is precise. He is perfect. And if it hasn't happened yet, it's because it's not ready. Or you're not. What He has for you cannot be rushed because heaven is not interested in temporary blessings. He's building something that will last. He is constructing a foundation in you that will not collapse when the storms come. And yes, sometimes divine construction looks like delay, but oh, the glory that comes on the other side of a surrendered wait. You see, while you're waiting, something eternal is forming in you. You think you're waiting for a door to open, but God is preparing your hands to carry what's behind it. You think you're waiting for a stage, but He's giving you the character to stand on it. You think you're waiting for marriage, ministry, healing, breakthrough, but what if you're really being shaped for weight, for spiritual weight, for the kind of glory that crushes flesh and reveals Jesus? You don't build that kind of vessel in a rush. You construct it through time, tears, pruning, pressing, and the kind of waiting that stretches your faith to the edge of itself. But what's beautiful is this. In the stretching, your capacity increases. In the waiting, your discernment sharpens. In the delay, your hunger deepens. And when God finally releases what He has ordained for you, you will not be the same person who first asked for it. You'll be more holy, more broken, more surrendered, and more trustworthy with what heaven places in your hands. Think of Joseph, thrown in a pit, sold into slavery, falsely accused, imprisoned. 13 years passed before he saw the fulfillment of the dream God gave him. But those years were not wasted. They were construction years. God was building integrity in a dungeon. He was teaching Joseph how to interpret dreams, how to carry favor with humility, how to endure without bitterness. And when the moment came to stand before Pharaoh, Joseph was not a dreamer. He was a man of wisdom, power, and purity. He was ready, and so are you, even if you don't feel like it. If you're in delay, you're in development. And if you feel hidden, you're in His hands. I sense someone has been weeping, asking God if He still remembers you. Let me speak to that ache in your soul. God has not forgotten you. He has not skipped over your house. Your name is still written in the palm of His hand. But He loves you too much to let you walk into something unprepared. His love will slow down your plans to speed up your growth. He will wait with you until you're strong enough to stand and holy enough to sustain what you care. So don't curse the delay. Don't resent the process. Don't try to open a door He closed. And don't run after quick answers from flesh when heaven is teaching you how to walk in the Spirit. He's not just answering your prayers. He's building your future. And when the time comes, it will be sudden. Oh yes, The same delay that felt like forever will end in a moment. In one whisper, one turn, one divine alignment, everything will change. The phone call will come. The opportunity will appear. The healing will manifest. The promise will come to pass. And you'll look back on this season not with regret, but with reverence. Because you'll realize you weren't waiting on God. You were waiting with God. And while you were waiting, he was building something in you no man can take away. So stand still, stay faithful, stay pure, trust the construction. Delay is not denial. It's the making of your miracle. God will never promote what he hasn't first broken. Oh, how we long for greatness, how we cry out for power, influence, impact, legacy, but we forget that before every rising there must be a crushing. Before the oil flows, the olive must be pressed. Before the bread is multiplied, it must be broken. Before the vessel is used, it must be shaped by the fire of surrender. And so it is with every man and woman God has ever used. If he intends to lift you, he will first break you, not to destroy you, but to refine you, not to shame you, but to sanctify you, not to reduce you, but to remove from you everything that cannot carry glory. He does not promote potential, he promotes purity. He does not anoint charisma, he anoints character. And character is never developed on stages, it is forged in secret, painful, quiet seasons where your heart is laid bare before God and your will is shattered in the presence of his. That kind of breaking is not glamorous. It's not what we post about. It's not what the world celebrates. But it is what heaven watches. And before the crown comes the cross. Before the testimony comes the tearing. And before the ministry comes the mourning. We want platforms without pruning. We want assignments without altar experiences. We want to be launched, but we don't want to linger. We ask for promotion, but recoil when the process begins. But hear me, there is no true elevation without divine excavation. God will dig into your soul and uproot every hidden idol, every buried wound, every secret ambition. And if you let him, he will break what needs to be broken so that what remains is holy. You will never walk in authority until you've knelt in agony. You will never carry power until you've endured pressure. Because God must know that what he pours into you won't be poisoned by pride. So he breaks you. He breaks your independence. He breaks your timeline. He breaks your false identities. He breaks your self-sufficiency until you no longer lead out of ego, but out of intimacy. Until you no longer serve from striving, but from surrender, until you no longer depend on your gifts, but on his grace. There are people watching this right now who feel like their world has fallen apart. Nothing is working, relationships are crumbling, doors are slamming shut. You feel like you've been disqualified, discarded, overlooked. But what if I told you you're right in the center of God's breaking? What if I told you that your brokenness isn't the end of your story, but the beginning of your anointing? What if I told you that what feels like death is actually deliverance? God is doing something deep in you that no man can see. He's not just preparing the world for you. He's preparing you for what he's called you to do in the world. And if you stay surrendered, if you stop resisting the breaking, something glorious will rise from the ashes. It won't be the version of you you imagined. It will be the version God intended all along. Look at the scriptures. Every single vessel used by God was broken before they were elevated. Moses was broken in the desert before he ever delivered Israel. David was broken in caves before he ever wore a crown. Elijah was broken under a tree before he ever called fire from heaven. Peter was broken by betrayal before he ever preached Pentecost. Even Jesus, yes, even the Son of God, was broken on the cross before resurrection ever came. This is the pattern. This is the path. This is the process of those who carry glory. And we are not exempt. You cannot bypass brokenness and expect to carry power. You cannot escape pain and expect to walk in true authority. But take heart. The same God who breaks you is the God who heals you. The same hand that crushes pride will lift you in due season. The same Spirit that brings you to your knees will anoint your voice to speak life to nations. So if you are being broken, rejoice, not because it feels good, but because it is evidence that God is at work. He disciplines those he loves. He breaks what he plans to bless, and he wounds only to bring forth something eternal. Don't run from the process. Don't despise the pain, and don't curse the season you're in. The deeper the breaking, the greater the glory. God will never promote what he hasn't first broken. But if he's breaking you, it means he's about to use you.